Hey, good morning, church family. Brother Kyle here, and just taking a break from being on call this morning from work, and I really wanted to take just an opportunity to just talk a little bit about Memorial Day. I know that yesterday and all of the excitement about gathering back together, as well as just our first services. Being back inside and under one roof, um, I totally overlooked in sharing and talking a little bit about Memorial Day, and I just wanted to take an opportunity, just between all the calls and computer work here, just for a second to just speak briefly about that. Just thinking so much of Memorial Day and what it means for those who ultimately paid the ultimate sacrifice and giving their life for our country. And I know that there are families that are hurting during a time that lots are celebrating and having time with family and enjoying being maybe off from work, and those are truly hurting, and maybe not even experiencing the loss, but just having their loved one being afar or away from them right now as they're actively serving in our armed forces. And I tell you, I truly and greatly appreciate each and every one, man and woman, that's giving of their time, their talents, their resources, as well as their life for our freedoms. Something that I know that most of us take for granted each and every day. Um, the freedoms that we're blessed with inside of this country, and I know that there are people all over the globe that would long to have the freedoms that we have here in this country. And I think about how foolishly we just squander those things away. And I think about, even in my own family's life, I think about both of my grandfathers serving during World War II, and just how it ultimately changed their lives, but also just the great service that they did for serving our country, as well as for my dad being actively in the military as well. And just thinking about so much of those truths and qualities that instilled in their lives, and which they've passed on to their families as well. But I know that there's a lot going on today, and I know that even right there at cemeteries just all over the country, right, are being flooded with people coming and paying respects and doing all those things. But I know that it's something that I definitely don't want to take lightly. Not only just today as we celebrate Memorial Day, but also the rest of our lives. And I think about scripturally how much how much this thing is pointing us straight to the gospel. And I think about in the book of Hebrews how the writer, he talks about those heroes of faith, and how that they done their part in ensuring that God's plan would play out, and ultimately other people could worship and serve God in the ways that they knew that they wanted them to. And I think about how so many of them just gave their lives in horrific ways that we can't even fathom. But I love that it says there, Hebrews chapter 11, that it says others were suffered mockings and floggings and even chains and imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sawn in two, they were killed with the sword. They went about in skins of sheep and goats, destitute, afflicted, and mistreated, and whom the world was not worthy, wandering about in deserts and mountains and in dens and caves of the earth. And it goes on to say that although commended through their faith, did not receive what was promised. And I think about just how that they were serving for one cause, right? before, to get God's people to where that they needed to be. And even though they didn't get to experience that aspect of it, man, they still done their job. They still served, and I ultimately think about how that plays out to this common day here of what we're celebrating in Memorial Day. That, you know, there's been so many before us who have done things, who have paved the way just so that we could be doing what we're doing and enjoying what we're enjoying. And, you know, and the Apostle Paul also tells us there in Timothy about being this good soldier that God's called us all to be, not just in branches of military, but to be a good soldier of Christ. And he tells us, right, to be strengthened by God's grace, right, for us to continue to fight the battle that we're in each and every day. And I just want to encourage you through this time, right, as you are celebrating with family, as you are doing the cookout or whatever you may be doing today, right, remember ultimately those who have given, those who are giving, right, and not just active military, right. I think about those who are working in our local law enforcement, right, so many other people that are giving selfishly right now through our EMTs and medical field, especially with all this going on. But ultimately, right, I want to go back even further. I want to go back, right, to the greatest sacrifice ever, to Christ, and Him paving the way for us to celebrate eternally with God. So just praying for a blessed day for you guys today, and hoping that you enjoy it, and it's great to get to spend some great time with family, but just looking back to Christ as well, right, and thanking Him for another great opportunity and everything that He's done. So praying you guys have a blessed day as always, right. If there's something that we can do to help, then make sure that you let us know, and we'll be glad to help in any way that we can. So thanks, have a blessed day.